Hello and welcome to Eco. I'm Rever, and this is a Rever's Recommends. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I hadn't seen much on. There's a few people playing Eco in single player, and for a long time I didn't buy this game because people said, well, it's not a single player game, it's for an online, it's not massively multiplayer, but it's a multiplayer online game. I imagine if you had, I'm just guessing, I've never played online, but about 10 or 20 people, that would really be cool. And you can set up an economy and rules. But I think they've made some improvements in the last year or however long it's been to make this game more friendly for someone like myself who's not particularly interested in playing with a bunch of other people. Now, when you play it single player, it's definitely probably a lot different. I can certainly understand where this could be a good experience with the right group of people if you wanted to play online. And if you like online games, and certainly if you have 12 friends that you'd want to play with, this would work out real well. But let me take a minute to rip apart the fabric of space-time and show you what I did to set this up, just so you know if you wanted to set it up single player, it's now very easy to do. You might see some older videos that go into all kinds of crap that you have to do. You don't have to do that. So here, I'm going to pause it for a second, and then I will do my magic, and we'll be back to a few minutes ago. Okay, now that the fabric of space-time has been ripped apart, this is what I had done to start the game. So if you come to New Game, and then this is for new people. If you haven't ever seen this, this is for, I guess, established cities welcoming new citizens. Brave Frontiers, experienced citizens, which I'm not yet, and then modded worlds. So you can see there's not too many servers showing up there. I've never done any of that kind of stuff, so I'm not 100% sure. But this is where you set it up. And what I did was no collaboration. Don't allow friends to join. I put this on 90. And then I generated a random seed, which I couldn't tell you at the moment. My world's not that special. I don't think that you need to go to my world. And boy, that bird is really loud. All right, let's head back into the game. Okay, here we are, back in the game. Even though for me it's just been like 2 seconds later. In any event, without worrying about the timing of everything, yeah, you get stuck. There are some problems with the game in the sense that you can kind of get stuck on things a little bit when you move around. Nothing big, like nothing has stopped me from wanting to play it more. That's certainly not at this point. So you can go around the world and gather up food. For example, we just gathered 5 rice. And there's really like kind of plenty of food around the world for a single person. They say no collaboration, 1 to 3 players. Well, you probably have enough food in this world for 3 people to live. So food is not necessarily a difficult thing to come by. It's not like a lot of games where it's like you run around just having to eat constantly. And now you do have to eat pretty constantly, but it's just not hard to get food. We could eat this rice right now, and you would do okay. Now, there's a balancing thing over here. If we hover over this, hopefully you guys can read this, you'll see you have this nutrition, and the more balanced it is with these 4 different things, carbs, protein, fat, vitamins, the more balanced this is, the more bonus that you get when you do actions. Every action that you do, you get a little bit of experience, and they all add up to give you either experience directly towards a certain skill or this overall, I guess you could call it character XP, life experience in a way. Once I fill this yellow bar up again, I will get another star. Now you can see I've filled up 7 of these so far. So when I get another star, what I'll be able to do is if we click on this, I'll be able to come into, actually can I get back out? Well, I can't get back out too easy, I don't think. Oh yeah, if I click on this. So you can come in here and you can specialize in one of these different categories. Now if you're single player, there's a benefit to specializing and getting them all, right? If you were just, say, going to be the chef, you might want to work real hard on this. These menus do tend to pop up and get a little bit annoying, like that just did. But they're also very helpful because it's a fairly if you're thinking of this game as Minecraft, that's not totally fair. This game is a little bit more well, it's definitely a lot more in depth. Maybe not more in depth than advanced modded Minecraft, but it's pretty in depth. There's a lot to work on. So you can see I put a star into advanced campfire cooking, and then let's see if I can make that go away. But then there's advanced baking, and all the different 15 more benefits, which is really just usually decreasing the time and the amount of materials you need to make things. But then you got baking, cooking, same kind of idea with each of them. Hewing, logging, there's farming. You can see I got these 3, but I haven't put stars into these. So even though I've unlocked the skill of farming specialty, I haven't actually clicked on this and then opened it up and selected I want to specialize in this particular thing. So I'm not getting the bonus, though I am able to farm, right? So it really kind of slows down your progress in a pretty interesting way. Like in a Minecraft, you don't have any system. Let's close this. You don't, oops, then let's go back to here. You don't have any system like this, but this is really limiting me in what I can do. The last thing I just got, even though it's at 5 already, is mining. And if I were to come in here, I can go right to the mining, and I don't have masonry, right? So right off the bat, if I selected this star, I'd get a 50% bonus in this, and I still have a debate. Do I want to do the mining and then go to the mortaring, which is kind of like bricklaying, I think? I don't know if it is bricklaying. What is this one? Yeah, there's bricklaying. So mortaring, which is kind of a weird way of doing it, I guess. And if I'm comparing it to the real world, anyway, I'd kind of consider bricklaying is mortaring in a sense. But this lets you make mortar at a lot lower cost. And that's really kind of an issue for me right now, because I'm sort of at this point where I would like to go and make more things, but it's very expensive to make this mortar in order to get better roads and to get certain things that I would want. So it forces you to work on things that you can work on, right? And that makes sense, especially if you're playing, with a lot of people. You become the bricklayer or the mortar maker. Well, when you're playing single player, it makes it a lot more grindy. So here I did plant some crops, and I was able to even get the special crop tool where we can read them. I don't think if I open my little backpack, no, I don't have it on me. We can go grab it, but I'm not sure if I'm not trying to make this a full explanation of the game, just try to give you guys a feel for it. But this was my project for this morning, right? Where I made these fields here, and then I made another little field over on the other side of what's growing into a mansion. Now, one of the reasons I have such a mansion and other things are to at least a certain degree neglected is because I have some of those carpentry skills where I can make the wood to build the house. If we look down here, you also have a house value, and you have the different kinds of rooms. So you can see my kitchen is giving me 5.7 of a bonus, 61 total bonus, towards my experience that I get each day. Right, so you can see these two numbers added together are this 249. So I get a 249 times bonus because I've got pretty good balanced diet. I just eat burgers down here and tomatoes. Tomatoes are good in vitamins, and burgers are good in protein and fat. So these two don't have, well, they have a little bit of protein, but you try to find some vegetables that are good, and I just run around the world so far and have had plenty of food, like I mentioned. It's not like, oh my gosh, I have to go off and start farming. As a matter of fact, farming seems like something you could put off a fair way. You notice I unlocked the skill book so that I could do the thing, but it's not something you would have to do like constantly. Like if you were going to be a farmer, I'd probably also be something else. If you were in a community, you'd probably be the cook as well or something like that. Or whatever else you wanted. There's no absolute need to be both of those, though they just would work out if you're gathering the food and then cooking it. It just might be easier than counting on somebody else gathering the food. But who knows? Depends on your server, I suppose. You may have an excellent farmer on that server. So in any event, I have built these things. Now I turned the brightness up quite a bit, and I'm sort of half waiting for daytime to show you the inside of the house. But the other thing is some of these some of these buildings, like I said, I have the brightness up, hopefully, and the sun's coming up. Hopefully it's not too dark in here. But if I hit E, you can see this is how you craft things. We're going to click on the bloomery. Right? I don't want to click on it right now. And we're going to need this many of each material. So it's all pretty straightforward. Now you order it. But the main reason I opened up this particular machine is that I know it needed to be in a room. And the room needs to be of certain size for each of the machines that you have. So I'm using 225 meters cubed compared to 275 that I have. And that tells me this one's using 45 of them. So, and it's a relatively large machine. So you have to have your room a little bit bigger than it needs to be in a sense. Like let's come over to this table, which is the carpentry table. And the carpentry table here, we can actually assign something. So let's just say, and I'm going to give you an example here of how I'm pretty high up on my carpentry skills. Can't say it right this second. But like if I wanted to make 50 logs, it's only going to actually use 20 to get a hewn log, right? Where when you first start out, you would use 1-to-1, right? So I'm getting a really big bonus. I'd have to cut down like, a third of the trees, and then you can hear the noise going, and it's making me more hewn logs, which the hewn logs are what we use to build the house. So I put this special tool, this hammer in my hand, and if I had a hewn log, I can pick this up and move it around and change the type of thing that I'm doing. Just so you know, I have my UI like kind of really big so you guys can see it, I hope. So that's normally I have it a little smaller. It's not stuck up off the screen like that thing was. There we go. So this actually right here, I built a little tiny hut. Like I think it was like right here, so that I could build this research table. And this is this is the main way. You have to unlock all of the different recipes. So if you come in here and look, I've unlocked the butchering skill. I think the cooking, the farming. There's other skills that I haven't, and you need to get a certain amount of stuff. So right now, my big holdup is I don't have enough iron. I only have 4 iron bars. But I just got that mining not too long ago, so I should be able to get more of that stuff. And then the game's kind of nice, too, in the sense that, like, let's say, I need some bricks. Well, how do I get bricks? Well, you can hover over all of this stuff. You need to get them in a kiln. And then requirements, so could we make them in the kiln? And somewhere on, it sort of gets away from you pretty quick. Let's go to brick. I'm sorry, not kiln. To make a brick, I need the brick recipe, right? There's the shale brick. Well, we need bricklaying. So we need to unlock bricklaying skill book, right? Which means I need to make more mortar. Well, remember I just said it really is painful. Well, I'm getting a bonus because I've worked on carpentry enough and got my little blue stars up. Well, when I go to make mortar here, for every mortar, I need 4 sand, which is kind of like crazy. Or I could also make it with pulp, or with wood pulp, which you get from cutting down trees. But even then, I need 30. So you can imagine if you get a big bonus knocking that off, that makes making this mortar much, much more easier. So I think that's why they have like a mortaring skill, is to cut down on the time it takes to make and how you make these things. You can get a lot of sandstone pretty easily, but it takes 5 minutes for 6 of them to be turned into 1 sand. Then you need 4. So that's like, well, doing mathematics, right? 5 minutes times 4 of them. It takes you 20 minutes just to make enough sand to make 1 masonry mortar, right? And then to give you an idea, we need mortared stone here. And we need 5 of those in order to make 1. So you do some more math. That's like over an hour's worth of this machine running to make 1 mortared stone. So yeah, definitely mortaring is on my list. Now at the same time, you say, well, why didn't you do that first? And you have issues like, well, if you come in here and look, we'll click on this. Getting this mining going, because I need the stone to turn into sand, and, you need the stone too. This is using up a tool, and it's a lot of work physically just to go out there and cut all the bricks, like in many games. So being able to get cutting down on the calories that it takes each time you hit. So you need a lot of food in order to do that. You also have tools where you can say, I want to increase the tier of my tool so that I get so that's just faster in mining at that point effectively. And then in a little tiny bit, I'll get another choice here where I can choose. I don't know what it is. It's a mystery. And actually, I do kind of remember what this is. Something. Yeah, you can get it to where it will auto brake. I'm not going to get into it, but I kind of remember that choice more or less. But then, yeah, I'd like to get this mortaring. I'm real anxious to get that. Butchery would be nice too to get, though it's not. Again, the food things I don't find to be hypercritical. I probably, in retrospect, might not have done the hunting, but then it does make my hunting a lot easier, right? So one of the reasons I have so many burgers down there is because I got that hunting skill. So you're kind of constantly playing this game. So I think that's probably enough about the skill system. Hopefully you guys can see in there. Now that it's broad daylight, and hopefully you guys can see fairly well. This is my general room with a table in it. I know it doesn't look much, but I can't really I made all the furniture that I can. I can make duplicates of it, but at least I got some bonus down there, right? Yeah, I probably need to get this out. I think this is actually hurting the room. We got an ice box here. We got a butcher's table, and I think I put another little table over here. And then we have a latrine. Oop, that's not how you open it. Right? And then there's our pooper. Now there is no actually pooping in the game, but if we come out, I put this door on there because I kept running out this way when I meant to run into the workshop. So I figured, well, if I put a door here, I'm less likely. And I'm about to redo this whole thing. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's a little like there shouldn't. Yeah, my roof up there is kind of a mess. I want to fix that a little bit. But there's my bedroom. Again, not too much. I'm not advanced enough to really make a lot of stuff to decorate it, but I put this up here because you do pay, you have to stake out the land for it to count. I'm going to go out this way and drop down. So here's we are. This is my new addition to the workshop. And again, as much as anything, because when I like building, but besides that, I can make these things a lot easier than I can, trying to go around and pave and work on all the roads without having the proper skills just cost you a lot more food and whatnot. So, yeah, so that's been a thing. Now, another big thing to mention about this game, I didn't really even say the premise. You can see, I said at the beginning that I set the meteor on 90. And I haven't even seen the meteor. You can see I still have that task. It appears in the sky. I've seen it on other people's videos. So I'm wondering if when you set it on 90 days that it doesn't show up until 30 days are left or something like that. But there's a meteor that's coming to crash down and destroy the whole world or something to that effect. And you have to build a laser gun machine of some sort. Now, whether I'll get there or not, who the heck knows? But I'm giving it my best, right? But in order to do that, you have to build technology and build things. And so one of the first things, for example, if we come here and cut down a tree, let's head over into the woods where I know it's good to cut the tree down. If you cut down too many trees in one area, you can actually really cause a lot of harm to that area. Now, one of the reasons I wasn't cutting trees down here is because it's going to destroy all this foliage. That's another tree. But there was these certain bushes that up until recently I didn't have access to. So I'm going to come over here with my axe. Now, keep in mind, I'm pretty skilled, so I can knock this tree down a little bit faster than you would have otherwise. But I'd like you to notice it leaves this stump, and then, where did it go? Oh, there it is, right in front of me. You know what, this one didn't leave hardly any. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it left it over here. That's a little weird. Normally it leaves it in the direction it falls. But see these all wiped out of stuff. And then if we come over, we have a map. Let me show you the world. And I want to come to close settings. Why is it doing that? Oh, let's do this. There we go. That's little. I didn't realize it would do it that way. I never looked in the settings before. I just looked in the last time I was in here. I didn't realize it shoved that one down and that semi-weird. I thought I could close that. In any event, we're going to go to pollution. So if you create pollution and you're not careful about how you deal with it, you just go and cut a bunch of trees and leave this debris. It hasn't even registered my debris yet, but you can see, like, there's debris around this area in my stockpiles, or in my... I'm not sure why they're counting that as debris right around there, but you can... Like, I had this whole area up here where you can kind of see where these trees are at, and are... It's a little deceiving the way that looks, to be honest, but there's not that quite this many trees, I don't think, right up in this area. But this was all like just red like that with like mad pollution, and the whole area was starting to turn brown. And the reason was, let's zoom back out a little bit. The reason was is I had left all these around because my skill, like every time I went to gather one of these, they cost a lot to pick up. I don't know if you guys can see the little number, -33. Well, that's with my experience. You can also see I'm getting experience from doing that. And then I come down here and cut this up. So if you take care of your world, you will be in much better shape, right? So then what I need to do is I can chop this up. I know it's a little hard for you guys to see. My expert experience of cutting things through things is... You just have to sort of sometimes do this. So then we can pick these logs all up, and then we're carrying them, and we can carry them back to get the full load. A little pro tip, I don't know about pro, or at least, you know, not noob thing to do, is you can leave that log there and pick up another 5. Otherwise, it doesn't like fill it up to the max. It just sort of says, no, you can't pick that up because it's 5, and you can only carry 20, and you've got 16. So like the first, you know, you're almost certainly, no matter what skill or profession, you're going to need some wood to build your first house, and it's one of the reasons I chose that skill. You can see these trees grow up pretty fast, and if you looked at that map, did you notice these trees aren't nearly as big as that map showed? But then we come around here. This is my first little camp is still here. Eventually I'll move it. But I've been working on flattening things out and moving them around, and you get a little campfire where you can cook food, and so it's been enjoyable. So now why do I like this game? You know, why am I sitting here doing a special episode and not getting you guys your regular whatever episode? It's because it's one of those games that I go to bed and I think about what I'm going to do the next time. You know, like when I wake up in the morning and I think about what, you know, like it's a game that really is, it's a challenging, kind of grindy, yet there's always something to do, yet nothing is that urgent to do. Like there's certainly a list of things that I have that I could do. Let me show you the little road that I'm working on, for example. This is where I'm going to build a mine down here, and maybe even a processing center for the stone. I want to put a road in completely over this way, but I'd really like it to be a stone road at that point. And we have these carts that you can drag around, so you need like flat... Oop, hello, buffalo? They call it bison, but I don't know why we call it bison and buffalo. So you can see I've kind of made this road, and I'd like to improve it. And I'd also like to make it like 4 wide. This is a little dicey. You can see this was a heck of a look. And I like leveling in games and road building. So I came in here at the road. I want to cut out more of this, make this 4 wide, and then I might even have to move this over 2, right? So I can make this the next ramp down. Either that or I'll throw the dirt over here and then come all the way down to here. Now, apparently, or from what they say, the most iron is underneath the desert. So that's why I worked my way over to here. I hope that's true after all that work. One of the things you have to watch out with in this game is that they've changed things, and you may watch a video that's a year old and it's not so good because it's telling you like a bunch of stuff. So I came in here anyway. That's going to be the mine, and you know, so I got that to work on. I just got the food planted, which I'm not expecting great results. I'll learn about that. I'm expanding the house as I go. Why wasn't I? Well, I wasn't working on the mine because I sort of started running low on food. So I had to go do some hunting, and then once I was working on the food, that got me thinking of the farming, and then I think you guys get the idea. So I would say if you liked Minecraft and you know you like this kind of buildy, it's not much of a survival game. Nothing will kill you. All the animals are afraid of you, but you can go hunt them. I do have my bow here, and I might as well, let's see if we can. Now earlier, of course, there was like 7 million of them. all over the place. Let's go see if there's... Well, you know what? I could just do this. So this is how it works. I don't know if you see that red. Let's come up here. It might be a little bit brighter. Right, there's that red bar right there. So it's pretty easy. It's not like overly hard. Now, the only way I know to get rid of that is just to scroll off of that tool and not waste an arrow. So you got to be pretty dexterous with your fingers there to hold that one key down and do that. Yeah, look, we scared all the animals away. There was like a million of them. Oh, there's a buffalo. Let's go hunt a buffalo, and then we'll call it quits. Oh, he started moving again. It's better when they're not moving, and I can get a headshot because I get like a... Oop, I missed. Yeah, see, 6.4. That's a lot of damage. Now, if you sit here and wait, sometimes they run away far enough. Oh, see, he stopped up there. See that? And so they're not very smart. Like, not compared to a real animal. Come on, get out of the... And then this is the biggest problem with hunting the buffalo, is that they... Yeah, so I really can't see. Look at that. Was that not a shot? That was like a shot worthy of YouTube. I don't even know why I took that shot. I guess because I didn't feel like doing the... I did. That was luck. I mean... That was just pure skill. Of course I hit him. What am I talking about? Yeah. Let's go get the buffalo. Make some more buffalo burgers. Hey, buddy. Look at that. Right in the head. That was the first shot, right? That was another nice shot. Right in the heart. Anyway, so I'm sorry if you're a animal lover. It wasn't a real... No real animals were hurt in the filming of this episode. So there you go. So I definitely recommend it if you were interested in it. It does go on sale. I think it's normally like $30, and I bought it because it was on sale recently. And I've just really enjoyed coming into my world here. It's, you know, like I said, it's a long... I almost had rabbit for dinner, too. And just working on the next thing, you know, like it's... The building system's not perfect. There's been better games with building system, and the animals are a little weird in that they kind of like will walk right up and over your house if they're able to. So, you know, there's some things that they could work on. But overall, it's just enjoyable. And I would definitely, as the title says, I would recommend it. So let me know if you have any questions. And I don't think I'd ever make a series about this just because it is so grindy. I don't think it would make a very exciting YouTube series for this particular channel. I don't think most of the people that watch are overly interested in this type of game, but I thought I'd introduce it for you guys that were. But if you had some kind of specific question, I know I'm not really an expert, but if I know about it, I would definitely try to answer it, right? But I've definitely enjoyed it, and it's definitely a decent single player game if you like it to be a bit grindy, and that's what happens when you're just a single player. Even with the skill levels and the bonuses turned up, it's still quite grindy at that point. Okay, guys, take care of yourselves and have a good day. Bye-bye.